I am going to talk with you about money and your home. And what I'm going to do is give you some ideas for how you can make money with your home to help you to afford to make improvements to your home. And also, if we've got time, I'll also talk about how you can use your money to help use your home to help save you money, so that you can also then put that money towards home improvements. So one way is using your home to make money, and the other is using your home to save money. And if there's time, I'll do both today. And if not, then I'll do just making money today, and I'll do saving money next week. So I've got a few notes down here with some ideas, and I would love to know what are you planning to do to your home? Are you planning to do some home improvements? And is financing those home improvements part of what's holding you back from progressing your project? Because I've been doing a bit of market research lately, and one of the biggest things that holds most people back is the finance side of things, which is, totally understandable because construction is expensive. I'm just having a little look to see what I can do with this, because I haven't used this for a while. I can share this to groups, but I don't have a group to share it to. But I wanted to help more people to see this, but I don't know how to do that on desktop. If you have any ideas, and I also can't see comments at the moment. I don't know how to see comments. Actually, maybe I can do it another way. If you're watching, say hi, and if you have any tips on how to help people to see this, say hi too. Okay, here we go. Right, I should be able to see comments now. Right then, okay, so let's get started. If you are looking at home improvements and money is an issue, then this is a good place to start, because we all know that construction can be expensive, and your home, for most of us, your home is your biggest investment, and so it's a significant amount of money for you. And I know that there are some people watching this who are millionaires, and there are probably more of you watching this who are not millionaires. And so we're not talking about millions of pounds here to spend on your home. For most of us, that's not what we're looking at. And I want to just tell you a little bit about my background in terms of my own home, how I've approached improving my own home when I've not necessarily always had loads of money, and how I've tackled it. And these strategies that I'm going to share with you, these ways that you can make money with your home, are things that I have done, so I know that they're possible and I know that they work, and I've used them to then plow into improving my home. So back in 2008, I put in an offer for my home, the place that I'm sitting in now, and it was accepted. And the following day, I was given notice of redundancy. And so I went from I was working in a huge international practice. I had a good salary plus bonuses, and I knew that I could comfortably afford the home, and I deliberately bought a project home because, I'm an architect. I looked for a home that I knew I could make changes to, that had lots of potential, that I could make my mark on it, and that was exciting to me to do that. I didn't expect to be made redundant though, so I went from working on massive multi-million-pound projects to sitting on my own at my kitchen table, desperately trying to find projects to do and earning not very much. And so I took the decision to work for myself at that time, and really I was creating a job for myself. I wasn't really thinking about things in terms of a business, and I didn't really know anything about business. I knew about how to be an architect, and a good architect. I am a good architect. At the time, I had no clue about business, and now I have a business that pays me monthly salary, and so I'm in a much better situation now. But for a long time, and whilst I've been building this business and learning about business and understanding how to run a business as well as just how to be an architect, that process, I've had lots of moments during the last 10, 11, nearly 12 years since I set up my own practice. I was made redundant and set up my practice. So that I've had moments when I haven't had a lot of money, but I bought this project property that needed a lot of work doing to it. The roofs leaked, the windows were rotten. You could literally stick your finger through the frame. They needed a lot of work doing to them. And so these are some of the things that I have done that have helped me. So if you can resonate with any of this, if you have a home that's leaking, got a leaking roof, got rotten windows, you haven't got any money to fix it up, and your home is like a huge project, write down project in the comments below. If you've got a home that you're just in need of a bit of TLC, put TLC. And if you've got a home that you really want to make it your own, want to put your mark on it, write home below. I'd love to sort of get an idea of where you're at with your home and what it is that you're hoping to achieve with it. So please do comment below and let me know, because I'm interested in this being a conversation as well. So first strategy, let's get into this, how to make money with your home. So the very first thing, we're starting off with the small amounts of money first. First thing is decluttering. So going through your home and clearing stuff out and selling it, especially furniture. That is the key thing. And I've just realized that I've got my phone on, so I'm going to pop it on do not disturb. There we go. So if you are looking to improve your home, a lot of people come to me and they want more space. And one of the quickest and easiest ways to create more space in your home is to clear out some of the stuff that you've got in it. And some of the biggest stuff is furniture. And so you can clear out furniture and get money for that furniture. And you might not get loads of money, but it can add up. And so, for example, this year I moved my office space. I've got 2 living rooms. The front living room was my office, and that was a really big office space. And then I decided to move up here to the smallest of the bedrooms, because this actually is big enough for me. I don't actually need a huge living room, and I wanted to have more space for a kind of a hobby room, put the piano there, use it for music, painting, sewing, all the hobby crafts and loud stuff, messy stuff. That's what I wanted to do. So I moved my office, and then I've been decluttering that space ever since because I had built up lots of paperwork, lots of stuff, and because the room was much, much bigger than I needed for my office, I just filled it with loads of things. So I have been clearing out that space. And over the course of this year, I've probably made about £200 from stuff that I've sold that was in that room. And £200 is not a lot of money when you're thinking about a construction project. But if you're thinking about some internal redecorations, some paint and some few accessories, especially if you get them second hand, bits of furniture that are more suited to your space, you can really do quite a lot to change a room with £200. There's a lot you can do, and if you look on YouTube, you'll find loads of inspiration. There's lots and lots of really creative interior designers who are doing a lot on very low budgets, and you can get lots of ideas from those. And so my plan now is not to actually use that room as a hobby room. What I'm thinking about doing is actually letting the room to a lodger. So this is the second strategy, and this is a really good strategy. From the very beginning, when I moved into this home and I didn't have a salary coming in and I needed to have something regular to pay the bills, what I did was I got a lodger. I actually got 2 lodgers, and that helped me to survive. It covered all my costs, and that was a great way to tide over the early stages of my business when I didn't really have a clue what I was doing about running a business and wasn't earning much. But now my plan, I have big plans for my home. I've got lots of ideas about what I want to do, and I have a big vision for exactly what I want to achieve. And because I run my own business, getting a mortgage isn't that easy, and so I need a big deposit to be able to do what I want to do. And so renting a room to a lodger and using that income is one really good way of doing it. I've done Airbnb, I've let rooms through Theatre Digs, and I've let rooms to people longer term as well. So there's lots of different ways you can do that, but there are also tax breaks. And I ought to say, as a disclaimer, I am not in any way a financial expert. All of these suggestions, you need to get your own financial advice, speak to mortgage brokers, and I really recommend that if you are considering doing work to your home, that you speak very early on. You speak to a mortgage broker or financial advisor who can help you to assess where you are financially now and projections for where you could be, and in terms of what sort of budgets you could set for any sort of home improvement project. Because one thing that's really key is that you need to set the budget. Before you start, you need to decide how much you're going to spend on it. It's much better to do it that way. Because, so this is like a bit of a, not really a tip about how to make money with your home, but this is how to strategize your project so that you get what you want for the money that you have. So a really key thing, as I've said earlier, I have a plan, a vision for what my home is going to look like. I know what the bigger picture is. I know what the end goal is. And what I've done then, because I know what I want to achieve at the end, I've been able to split that down into smaller chunks of work. And so I know that I can do this and this and this, and gradually I can do the work to make my home what I eventually want it to be. So over the last 12 years, I've replaced the kitchen, I've replaced the bathroom, I've replaced the roof, I've replaced some of the windows. I've done a lot of things. I've replaced the boiler, I've installed a wood fire burner. I've done lots of things, and my home now is much more cozy. It was freezing cold when I moved in, and it's not leaking, which is really important. So it's much more pleasurable place to live. I mean, it's a nice house. It's got really good light. It's got lots of big garden, lots of positives to it. But it's even nicer now than it was when I first moved in. And so this kind of process of what I'm doing, I've decluttered a bit. I'm going to use that money to turn that big front room into a lettable bedroom, because I've got about £200. I've got more things I'm going to sell as well, and that money I'm going to that small amount of money I'm going to plow into making that space really nice as a bedroom, and then I'm going to rent that out, and then the money that I get from that, which will be a regular income, I will then save that and invest it to build up a pot of money that I can then use as a deposit. So one more option you have to making money with your home is to hire it out as a film location or a photography location. This is not an option for everybody. Yeah, there does have to be something special about your home for it to be of interest. And so It's not going to work for you if your home is very standard and doesn't have anything interesting about it. But you can, with really good interior design, you know, you can create your space to be more beautiful and to be attractive. I'm not going to give you any tips on how to do that, but I'm sure you can find stuff on YouTube about that. Look up interior designers, and that will help you to really make much more money, because you can rent out space for filming for thousands of pounds a day. So that's a way to make some really large amounts of money relatively quickly, but you do have to have the right type of space and interesting space for that to be a possibility. So let me know if any of these tips have been useful for you. So I'll run through those quickly. Those are the how to use your home to make money. So the first was declutter and sell. That will make you small amounts of money that you can then reinvest to upgrade spaces. Another one is to rent a room, so that can make you more money, and depending on how you do it, if you do it as a terms of like a long-term lodger or something like that, then you're going to get a regular amount every month. Or if you're going to do it something like Airbnb, you can get more money per night, and you don't have to have someone there all the time. So you have your home to yourself some of the time, and you can share it some of the time. I know that's not for everybody, but if you're happy to share your home, that can really work very well. And then the third option is to rent your home space for film or photography location for shoots. And that can really earn you a lot of money for a very short period of time, but you do need to have an interesting property. So those are ways you can make more money with your home. And then there are lots of ways you can save money with your home, and then similar process. So you can save small amounts of money. The amounts of money that you save on a small level, you can plow into helping you to save more, bigger pots of money. And I've got several ideas for how you can do that. So I'll go into that because we've got time. It's only 12:10. So you can simply make some more energy efficient choices. For example, instead of drying your clothes in a tumble dryer, you can dry them outside on the washing line. You can turn off the lights as you leave the room. You can turn things off standby, like literally switch things off at the socket, take the socket out the wall. You can use less water, you can take shorter showers. All of these things will have a very small impact, but that cumulatively you can save some small amounts of money that you can then use. So yes, it might not have a huge, massive, immediate impact, but it can benefit you sort of over the short, medium to long term. So over the course of a year, you could save, 50 quid, 100 quid, and maybe a bit more. It depends on how much energy you use now, and then if you're being really careful about it, how much you can save. It really varies depending on you and how much you use and how much you can save. But then you can invest that money into other things. Another thing you can do is switch your energy providers to cheaper providers. Go through and look at all the subscriptions that you have. What have you got going out on a monthly basis? Is there anything that you can just cut out? Do you need Netflix and Amazon Prime? Maybe you can get rid of one of those sorts of things. So just trim out some of those subscriptions, and so that you've got this small pot of money that you can then add more insulation, upgrade your doors and windows, so that your home then is starting to maintain its warmth. Heating is the biggest in the UK. Let's say heating is the biggest use of energy in our home, and so anything that you can do to reduce the amount of energy that it takes to heat your home is going to save you significantly. But the upgrading, the thermal efficiency upgrade work does cost money, and depending on your property, it can be more or less money. Some properties are quite easy to do. I know Many properties now have upgraded to some extent, but there's often more that you can do, whether that's simply add another roll of rock wall in the loft. I mean, that's not the best solution, but it's a solution and it will help. But there are lots of different things that you can do. If you can change the windows, for example, to double glazed, if you still have single glazed. I still have single glazed on a lot of my windows. As I said, it's a project property, so it's got a lot of upgrading to do here as well. So those are sort of like the smaller amounts that will gradually build up. And then one other thing that I've thought of that you may not have done is to use your home to help your holidays be cheaper. So instead of paying for accommodation when you go on holiday, you can do a house swap. So you can swap your home with somebody else's home. And this is really, really particularly good if you've got children and you want to just have a nice, comfortable home that, you know, the space is yours. You just want to be able to cook the beans on toast or something at night and just have a sort of relatively relaxed week away or weekend away or whatever it is, or a fortnight, however long you're going away. But the cost of the accommodation where you stay is a big chunk of your holiday budget. So if you can save that by swapping your home with somebody else's home, you have the cost of travel there, you have, you know, all the other costs associated with your holiday, but the cost of the accommodation you can save, and that could be quite a significant amount of money, you know, it could be £1,000 or more, and that money you can put then towards your home improvement project. So I'll summarise again those how to save money using your home. So there's being a bit more energy efficiency, switching to cheaper providers, reassessing your subscriptions, and all those small amounts that you can make, then ploughing that into upgrading the thermal efficiency of your home, and that will then in turn make the cost of heating your home lower, and you can then use those savings, save the money that you would be spending on heating your home and put that into a savings pot. And then using a house swap for your holiday so that you can save the cost of accommodation when you go on holiday and put that money again into a pot of money towards saving up for your deposit against a mortgage or a home improvement loan or whatever it is that you're going to use to finance your home. So I hope this has been useful. The final thing I would say is, well, first of all, I'd love to know what improvements you're hoping to make to your home. What are you planning to do? What sort of budget do you think you need to have to be able to achieve those? And if finance is not the issue for you, if that's not what's holding you back, what is? I'd love to know what it is that's holding you back from doing the home improvements that you'd like to do, because this video I've made based on feedback that I've had from people saying finance was the biggest thing that was holding them back from getting their home. And so these are small cumulative things that you can do that can snowball and build up and give you pots of money to help you to finance your home improvements. But if there's something else that's stopping you, I'd love to know what that is, and I can come back with more suggestions and possibilities to help you get your project started. And the final thing I'd like to say is that the best way to get around the issue of finances when you're looking to improve your home is to have a bigger picture, have a vision for what you want your home to be like, and then you can start to split that vision, you know, achieving that vision down into more manageable chunks. But also what I found is very interesting when I've worked with my clients is that often I've had clients come to me and they've said to me, we want to do this huge extension, we think we need to do this, that and the other. And then after I've spoken with them and I've taken through my Eagle method and helped them figure out what they really do need and want for their home, I've been able to realise much cheaper solutions that don't involve this huge expensive extension, but give them the home that they really want and that really supports them in living their version of their best life, which is what I'm all about. That's what I believe you should have. And that can cost a lot less. So having that bigger picture, that vision for your home, can show you different ways to achieve that that's not going to cost you as much. So you can then achieve that dream home that really is your ideal home in a way that you can afford. So if you would like to get my help to start to create that vision for your home, there's a link in the description above where you can click on there and put in your email, and you'll get my checklist, which is actually more of a little workbook, and it talks you through my Eagle method, gives you a few little simple exercises that you can do to help you start to create a vision for your home. It's not the complete process, but it's a little taster, and you'll also get some helpful emails from me that way as well. So it's been lovely to be here. I can't see any comments, and I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's useful and interesting, and I look forward to hearing about the home improvements that you've been making or that you're hoping to make. And if you want my help, get in touch. Okay, bye for now.